When designing assessments, there are several best practices that should be followed to ensure they are effective. It's essential to align assessments with learning objectives, making sure each test item directly measures the intended knowledge or skill. For example, if the goal is to assess critical thinking, the assessment should include tests that require analysis and evaluation, not just recall. Clear, concise language is also crucial to avoid confusion, particularly when technical terms are not necessary. Using a variety of question types such as multiple choice, short answers, and open-ended questions ensure the difficult levels of learning are evaluated. For instance, multiple choice questions can assess basic knowledge, while essay questions test deeper understanding and application. It is also important to pilot test assessments with small groups before fully implementation, as this helps identify any bias. Finally, providing detailed instructions for students ensures that they understand the expectations and can complete the assessment as intended. However, there are also things to avoid when creating assessments. One common mistake is to include trick questions that mislead students with unnecessary complexities or irrelevant details. Such questions can undermine the purpose of the assessment, which is to gauge understanding and not to confuse students. Additionally, relying on one type of question, like true or false questions, limit the assessment's ability to evaluate the full range of learning objectives. It is also important to avoid cultural or language biases to ensure that all students have a fair opportunity to succeed. Tests should always be kept at a manageable length to avoid fatigue, which can cause a negative impact on the performance. Lastly, grading should be clear and concise, and subjective questions should be paired with detailed rubrics to ensure fairness. Reflecting on personal assessment experiences, I have had both positive and negative encounters with tests. A positive experience was during a college biology exam where the questions varied, including diagram labeling, short answers, and case studies. These allow students with difficult learning styles to demonstrate their understanding, and the clear instructions help reduce anxiety and confusion. On the other hand, I've also had negative experiences with standardized math tests when several multiple choice questions were worded wrong. For example, one question about percentage was phrased in a way that caused confusion, leading to a lower score for students, not because of the lack of knowledge, but because the question was unclear. One of the most challenging aspects of test writing is creating high order thinking questions that require students to apply, analyze, or evaluate information. This can be difficult because crafting scenarios that test these skills without adding unnecessary complexity is a delicate balance. Furthermore, ensuring that assessments are fair and unbiased is another challenge, especially when the test is administered to a diverse group of students. Culturally, references or language used in questions can unintentionally disadvantage certain students, making it harder for them to demonstrate their true understanding. While these techniques promote deeper learning and critical thinking, they also require care, planning to avoid confusion and misinterpretation. To improve these challenges, test writers could collaborate with colleagues to refine questions and reduce ambiguous, as well as use frameworks like Bloom's taxonomy to create questions that cover very cognitive levels. Providing sample questions or practice tests could also help students understand expectations and reduce test anxiety. Ensuring the reliability and rigor of the assessments is key to their effectiveness. Validation can be ensured by aligning test items with learning objectives and using a variety of question types to fully access students' understanding. Reliability is achieved by developing clear rubrics and standardized scoring procedures, and conducting retest methods to confirm that the assessments produce consistent results over time. To maintain rigor, it's important to set high but realistic expectations by including challenging questions that require critical thinking. Regularly plotting and revisiting or revising assessments based on student performance and feedbacks ensures that tests remain fair and maintain high standards. By incorporating these strategies, assessments can be both fair and effective in measuring student learning. My name is Joanna Risper, and thank you so much for listening to my speech.